Yep, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me at the same time. As always, JD Miles. The MGTOWs they love to hate, even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, love to hate MGTOW at the same time. As always, this is why they keep us relevant to this day. And I'm back again. Before I begin, shout out to Cheese Ed, the host of the Coffee Pot. I'll leave the link to his full video in the comments section, as well as I'm going to post a link to one of my previous videos that will actually tie in to this video right here, in which y'all see the title. Deadbeat Mom. That's right, you heard me. Deadbeat mom tries to drop her kids off at her mother's house in a desperate attempt to deceive a man into believing she has no kids when she don't. No cap. And it's also funny too because you hear a lot of talk about deadbeat dads and how they don't want to take care of their children. But get this, if you search deep enough, you'll find videos and evidence that they are also deadbeat moms out here. Moms that don't give a damn about their children, don't care, don't love their children or anything. Even tried to drop them off and abandon them with their mothers or any family member that will take them just so they can have their good time and to have fun. That right there is a deadbeat mom. And you know what's something else too? This completely destroys their everybody's favorite buzzword. But your mama black. Well, guess what race this mama is doing this shit. But I digress. Take it away, Cheeses Ed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
She doesn't want to be a mother anymore because her new boyfriend doesn't want kids. Grace.
This shit, I'm hearing this story actually pissed the fuck up that really pissed me off the most. Not just as a man, but as a parent and a dad. To think that all this talk about men being deadbeat dads and shit, the last thing you would think of is a mother being a deadbeat. But yeah, they do exist to all you doubters out there. And for the record, let's be upfront and real. If this woman didn't want any kids at all, then why the fuck did she got herself in the position in order to get those kids? I don't think storks are flying around dropping kids off in random places here. We all know how she got those kids. And in the words of Hobson, she caused it. Her actions made a fat statement. But she don't want the kids. That really pisses me off even more than anything. Is when a parent denies their kids, especially coming from the gender where you least expect it. But I digress. Let's continue.
It's yourself. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Hey, babies. Wait, don't go in the house yet. Why not? Hey, listen. Just go sit on the porch. Hey, listen.
Now, for those of y'all who don't know, this deadbeat mom is trying to drop off all her kids with her mother, so she could go out and deceive a man into believing that she don't have kids when she does. But guess what? Her mama ain't having it. But let's continue.
What do you think you're doing? I'm dropping them off for good. Listen, I met a younger guy. He don't want no kids. And he don't want to listen. He don't want to deal with him. And so,
fellas, take a good look at this one right here. Because this one right here is an automatic red flag. She's trying to deceive a man into believing that she don't have no kids at all, while in actuality, she expects her mother to take care of the kids while she go out there and chase a man that she knows that she don't qualify for. God damn, at times like this, I wish anyone who knows the dude that she's trying to get with, they see this video and warn the dude about what she's trying to do. But yeah, I hope her mother lets the dude that she's trying to go after see the video as well, and let the dude know that he's being deceived by this single mother, pretending that she's childless. And yes, this type of shit does piss me off, especially as a parent. If you don't want any kids, then why the fuck did you get kids? What did Michael Jackson said? If you don't want a baby, yeah, then don't have a baby, yeah. Isn't that what he said? So if she didn't want kids, then why the fuck did she put herself in a position in order to get kids? That's just not myself, but every parent's question. But let's continue.
I'm dropping these kids off so me and him can live our life. We want to travel. We want to explore the world. And I can't do that with kids.
Oh my God.
I can't.
I cannot believe.
It's time for me to be happy. And I just want to be happy and stress-free without these children. That's all I want.
It's all about you one time. Every city we go, any other way, it's all about you. No matter where I go, I see the same hoe.
Then you should ask me, baby.
I shouldn't have asked. You're the grandparent.
It's respect, Angel. It's respect.
Well, I hope that you respect my decision on moving on with my life with my new man and no kids.
I'm not raising your kids.
Well, I'm not either.
Mom, your daughter, and I'm speaking from a therapist's perspective, your daughter is nothing more than a child herself with 3 children. No, she ain't I don't even consider her as a woman. I consider her as a little girl. And yes, you got females in this position, fellas. They bring children in the world, but at the same time, they still have a child mindset. This is why she's trying to ditch her responsibilities as a goddamn parent. And yes, I hope someone shows the dude this video of her doing this shit. Even I don't even want to deal with her out the gate, and I'm a parent. But let's continue.
I don't know what to tell you because I'm not doing it. I'm just letting you know right now I'm not doing it.
I'm tired of
It's getting heated.
being a single parent. I'm tired.
Okay, so that was part 1.
And I'm tired of this deadbeat mom whining and crying about her situation. As I said, if she didn't want to be a parent, then why the fuck did she become a parent? You brought them in the world now. You brought them in the world now. There's no turning back now from this situation. And what's worse, I bet her kids is hearing her say all this shit. I bet the kids is listening in on this situation. And yes, in situations like this, the children are innocent. But it pains the children to hear their mother to hear their deadbeat mom sitting there saying how much she don't want them anymore. And that's even worse. And that's even worse than a deadbeat dad, because you would think the number of times these females we complain about deadbeat dads, they would do even better job. Nope. Some of these deadbeat moms are just as worse or even more worse than the deadbeat father. But let's continue.
On this part 2 here that I'm going to play, there's actually 4 parts in total, I think, to this whole thing. We're going to get to this second part. But before we get into part 2, let's see what people had to say about this first part, part 1. We've got a woman here who chimed in and said, I feel sorry for those kids, she says. You know, they heard this conversation. This moment is going to stick with them for the rest of their lives. Another woman here is in disbelief. She said, this better be a skit, because there's no way in hell a man over your kids.
And that's another thing that blows my mind. A mother who will put a man over her own kids. And she thinks that she deserves a man of a high caliber? But of course, I hear retarded folks say, why y'all talking about deadbeat moms like that for? Because look at this one. Look what the fuck she's doing. Oh, but we supposed to stay quiet about it? Go fuck yourself. Let's continue.
I'd like to also believe, just the way this is set up, I'd like to also believe that this is a skit. Well, I hope all the videos I do are skits, but unfortunately a lot of them are real. And I don't know, man, you live life long enough and you realize there are mothers out here who are this selfish. You live life long enough and certain things just don't seem too far-fetched. Somebody else here added to the conversation and said the man she's leaving her kids for is going to be her karma. Believe that, this commenter said.
Especially when he finds out that she is deceiving him. Now, the video, the video I'm going to leave in the comment section, I believe I talked about this. You had a man who found out that the woman he's seeing had either 3 or 4 kids, and she didn't tell him about it until they went out on their date. So what did he do? He left the bathroom, went to the table, making sure that the children eat at least. But then he left the restaurant, didn't pay for shit, got in his car and took off. And sooner or later, no matter how much this deadbeat mom wants to run away from her responsibilities, guess what? He's going to find out eventually. But I digress. Let's continue.
As she thinks she's going to drink coffee. I agree. Let's see what part 2 has, man. Let's see.
Lay down and make the decision to have 3 kids. That is not my responsibility. And this is the last time you're going to do this. You're not doing it anymore. It's your responsibility, not mine.
Well, it was not my plan to be no single parent.
Well,
it wasn't your plan to be a single parent, but look where you at. You're now a single parent. Deal with it. And I don't blame her mother for not accepting it. As I said, she's nothing more than a little girl who is a single mother. Shoot. Her mother did her job, did her responsibilities, raised you from a baby to a goddamn adult. And what's more, her mother was struggling just to make sure she had everything she needed. Now she wanted to put 3 kids on her own mother like that. That is blatant disrespectful. It's one thing if you'll be in a hospital, you have to stay the night at the hospital for a week, month, year. That's one thing. Or you trying to go out and better yourself? That's one thing. But this right here makes my stomach turn. But let's continue.
it's not my plan to be a grandmother that's going to take care of somebody's 3 kids because they feel like they're not responsible anymore, that they don't want to be a mother anymore either.
Well, look, I just can't. I can't do this no more. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed.
then why did you put yourself in a position to be a mother when you don't want children? That's everybody's question. Let's continue.
Person. I can't do it.
But you're gonna
I do it.
do you understand that you're gonna have to do this?
Well, I don't want to.
I can't. Do you understand that I'm not gonna take care of your children? I'm not getting ready to raise 3 kids.
Look,
Do you know how old
you never taught me how to be a mom. You didn't tell me what to do. You didn't help me. So now it's your turn.
First off, she's lucky her mother didn't slap the piss out of her ass. And second, don't you has she ever been to school a day in her life? Because I believe every school from middle to high school has this class called home economics. And what do they teach students in home economics? Cooking, sewing, cleaning, and most of all, parenting. And as much as I didn't like home economics, guess what? In order for me to graduate, I had to take home economics. And yes, while I was in that class, guess what they taught me? Parenting. Me and another female student, we had to take turns raising a baby, making sure that we take good care of it, feed it, change diapers, all that. And in home economics, they teach you how to be a fucking parent. So at this point, little girl, all you're doing is making goddamn excuses because you don't want the responsibility. Let's continue.
Mercy. So she's saying, hey, you didn't tell me what to do. You didn't help me. And, I bet you when I play these next two parts, what's not going to be mentioned is a father. What's not going to be mentioned.
And speaking of which, why don't you just drop the kids off with their father? Huh? That is a good question, Cheese's Ed. Where's her baby daddy at? And what's more, how fucking dare she blame her mother because of the fact that she don't want to take care of her own goddamn kids? Damn, blame everybody but yourself. Let's continue.
Mentioned is not having kids until you're married, because obviously here we're dealing with somebody who's a baby mama. But as much as people probably like to believe that this right here is a skit, it probably hits way too close to the majority of mothers out here whose daughters are single moms, because naturally they're going to help out. They're going to take on that responsibility. A lot of times women think that's like, especially in the Black community, they think that's natural. They think this is the way it's supposed to be. The idea of a family, and people like to say, well, why don't you blame the men? No, women hold the key and access to their womb.
And if you're one saying blame the men, go have several seats and shut your retarded fuck ass up forever. And why is the men to blame for this? Look at me. I'm a single dad with two children. You think I'm gonna blame my father because he doesn't want to take care of my two children? And I'm gonna blame the women for it? Hell no. Let's continue.
You decide who busts the cheeks. You decide who you get to allow between your legs. You control it. Otherwise, what? You're left with the responsibility of the children, and you're unprepared. You're stressing out your mom.
Exactly as I said, Jesus Ed. I said this in a previous video. A man would want sex, but it's the woman who gives out the final say. She's the one who decides who gets it and who don't. And no, they can't blame the men for that, because after all, if a man try to force sex on a woman, what I told you, that's rape. She has to give out the final permission. So there's no excuse in that situation off the gate. But let's continue.
I'm stressing out. Everybody involved is stressing out. Skin is breaking out. And the only thing that can fix that problem, and I'm talking about skin here, is the sponsor of today's video.
Anyway, let's continue.
Listen.
You take your grandkids so I can live my life stress-free.
Okay, but the reason that I could not teach you how to be a mother, Angel, is because I was working a full-time job.
Where was your husband? Where was your husband?
It's not my problem.
I can't.
And more importantly, why she didn't learn the basics of parenting at the school that she went to. I mean, there's no excuse for that. Did she even took an ounce of home economics at all? Because that's where you learn how to be a fucking parent. And she won't have to be crying about her mother not helping her. Yes, I do look at it as nothing more than an excuse in a way to try to blame others for her own screw up. But let's continue.
I'm not. Just hear me out when I say I'm not gonna take care of your 3 kids that you had.
Yeah, that's a lot of stress, man. Check out more of these comments. That first video got like,
As I said, Mama ain't having it.
2 million views, and now it's like snowballing into something huge. And a lot of people, as they heard the story, had more to say. For example, this gentleman that says it took 3 kids to decide she doesn't want to be a mother. Somebody else here added, look at her try to blame her mom and gaslight that poor woman. Well, I agree, she should not blame her mom, but women have a responsibility here to, number one, show women how to be wives. And you can't show your daughter how to be a wife if you've never been a wife yourself, if you've never had a husband, or if you've left that husband and she has no reference. You know, people want to say people should have the right to be happy. Well, eventually you pay the consequences of choosing happiness, of choosing being single and independent. And unfortunately, the children suffer and you do as well. Somebody else here says, the way my mama would have beat me up, this woman says. Somebody else here added, she's blaming everyone but herself with the laughing emojis. Another person here says, what the hell does she mean? Now it's her turn. Somebody else here says, why do they keep having kids after 1 or even 2 if they feel they can't handle it? That's the question. That's a question we all want to know.
Yeah, that's a damn good question. If she didn't want any kids, then why did she have them? That's everybody's question right there. Now, there are 2 more parts remaining. However, I'm going to end the video right here because I said what I have to say. If you want the full video, I'll leave the link to Jesus Says video in the comment section of the video. Go check it out. Tell them JD Miles sent you. But at this point, I said what I had to say. I mean, there's nothing much more to be said. A deadbeat mom who wants to ditch her kids with her mother to try to deceive a man into believing that she is childless. But hey, one thing I can say is this. Guess what? Those kids, guess what? Their mama is black and she don't give 2 shits about them either. So take your favorite buzzword and shove it up all y'all asses. Now, I said what I had to say. I'm done and I'm out this bitch. Later.